Hey, violins and violas, what's going on? So, we're going to continue with All Region this week. The All Region tune for this week is going to be Danse Macabre. It is not pronounced Danse Macabre, it's Danse Macabre. And it literally translates to Dance of Death. It's a really cool piece. And if you guys have a chance, go on YouTube and look up the original version. It sounds super cool, super awesome. So let's just jump right into it. Before we play through, let's go ahead and talk through a couple things. So, first and foremost, at the very beginning, you see something called non-divisi, and you have two notes together. What that means is you're going to literally play those two notes at the same time. So, before we jump into it, let's go ahead and practice. I want you to play your D and your A string together. Just like that, okay? That's all it is. Then we're going to add fingers, okay? But before we add fingers, let's go ahead and try and play this in rhythm. So we have a half note, quarter, half, quarter, half, quarter, half, quarter, okay? So you're gonna do long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and try and add some fingers. You can see that that's going to be a low first finger E flat. It's not going to be an E natural on your first tape. It's going to be behind your first tape, just like that. Okay? So before we get into that, let me hear your E flat. It's a super low first finger. Okay? So let's play that E flat, and what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to tunnel your first finger. Make sure that your first finger is contacting just the D string. You don't want to hit the A string, or else you're not going to be able to hear the vibration of the A string. You'll get this little bit. You want this. Okay? You want that E flat and that A. Just like that. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start from the beginning and do that one more time. 1, ready, and. And then we get into measure 5 where we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? So let's start right at measure 5 where we see our first eighth notes. 1, ready, and. And you're going to pick up your finger on that third beat. Because if you look, the A stays the same all the way through. But that E flat goes down to a D. So we have this. Just like that, but with the A string. So let's start right on measure 5. 1, ready, and. And that is the first note of the second line right there. Okay? All right. Now, let's try and play the entire first line all the way into the first note of the second line. Turn this just a little bit more so you can see my hand. 1, ready, and. And that's the second line right there. Okay? All right. So, we're going to talk about articulations in a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure you guys got the rhythms and the intonation first. Okay? All right. So, on the second line, you see a lot of slurs. A lot of slurs. Okay? So, we're going to start right at the beginning of the second line, and we're going to try and work through these slurs slowly but surely. Okay? So, let's play that G. Rest. That's your first slur, D to G. And then you start at the tip, and you're going to go G, F natural. Just like that. Then you're going to go F natural to E. Then you're going to go E to E flat. And that's just a fast little shift of your left hand, going from E natural to E flat. Just like that. Okay? So, I'm going to do this real slow so you guys can watch. This is from the beginning of the second line. Rest. To F natural. To E flat. Now, the biggest mistake you can make on this line is rushing through these half notes. Okay? So, from the beginning of the second line, you're going to go G, D, G, G, F, F, E, E, E flat. Okay? So make sure that all of your half notes get 2 full beats. D, G, G, F, F, E, E, E flat. Okay? So, let's start right at the beginning of the second line, and then let's work into what is underneath the first ending right here. That little bracket you see over that music right there with the 1 underneath it is called the first ending. You guys have probably already done this in class plenty of times, but just as a reminder, you play that first, and then at the very end of the first ending, there should be a repeat sign, which takes you back to the other repeat sign at close to the beginning of the second line. Then you play through again, but you skip the first ending because you've already played it, and then you go to the second ending, which ends on the third line. Okay? So, underneath the first ending, you have D, G, D, E, G, F sharp, E, D. Okay? So, let's play right underneath that first ending one more time. D, E, G, F sharp, E, D, E, E, F sharp, rest. And then that starts you back at the very first slur that we just did. Okay? All right, so let's do the entire second line. Let's attempt this. So we're going to start at the beginning of the second line, right on that down bow G. Make sure you lift here because it is down, 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 down. Okay? Right there at the beginning of the second line. 1, ready, and rest. Rest. Now, what just happened, the end of the second line has a repeat sign. So that took you back to the second measure of the second line, to that half note G. That D at the very end of the second line is actually slurred into that G, just like you had at the beginning of the second line. Okay? All right, now, here's where it gets tricky. We're going to start the second line one more time, and we're going to go all the way through. We're going to repeat back to the repeat sign, and then when we get to the first ending this time, we're going to skip it and jump down to the third line because we've already played the first ending already. Okay? So, when we get to the second ending, just a little heads up. You're going to go open D, third finger G, to a low first finger B flat on your A string. It's going to sound something like this. Okay? That low B flat is a lot lower than you think. Remember, this is the dance of death. It's not a happy song like this. It's not going to be happy all flowers. It's going to be skulls and dead kittens. For that low B flat. Okay? So let's start right at the beginning of the second line. 1, ready, and rest. Rest, repeat, back. Second ending here. All right, so the ending. The ending, at the very end, let's work backwards. At the very end, you have a dotted half note, which is worth 3 beats. But it has a fermata over it, which means hold it out a little bit longer. But you also have those 3 slashes across the flag. Do you guys see that? What that means is it's called a tremolo. Okay? A tremolo is literally translated to tremble. And when you tremble, what do? You shake. Okay? So, all I want you to do on that last note is I want you to play all the way to the tip of your bow, and I want you to shake your bow on the string as fast as you can. Just like that. Just like this. Put it together. Okay? It's a little bit strange, but it's a cool effect. Okay, so let's start the last 5 measures. You should have an LH under the measure that I'm going to start on. It's 1, 2 tay, 3 tay, E flat. So that's where you put your E flat back down. Open. 2 tay, 3 tay, E flat. 2 tay, 3 tay, E flat, D, E flat, D, E flat, D, tremolo G. Okay? So let's do the last 4 measures. 1, ready, and lift. Lift. Just like that, okay? All right, so I know we kind of just breezed through that, but like I've said in a couple of my other videos, if you guys have any questions or need some tips or need something else to figure, or you need to figure something else out, just email me or Mrs. Gonzalez and we will be more than happy to help you. This is a little bit longer video because there's some tricky stuff in this. So let's go ahead and start at the very beginning. I'm going to play it all the way through and then the video will be done. Okay, starting at the very beginning, I'm going to turn my stand so you can see my left hand. At the very beginning, 1, ready, and rest. Rest, repeat. Second ending. And then that's it. Okay. Thanks for sticking through the video, guys. Keep practicing. Have fun. Bye.